Hey, so thanks for tuning in to this episode. This episode that you're about to listen to or watch is at least 2, maybe 3 weeks old. Um, so we sat down to film it the week of the board meeting, and then it sat on the camera card. I imported it to the computer
Like 8 a.m.
eventually.
the next day.
Yeah, like we were on this, and it was all my fault that it never got published. So we're sitting here recording the next episode.
So you can binge our episodes.
So I'm just gonna, yeah, so you can binge it. And my apologies. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, back to the show.
Okay, ready? Let's go. Hey, who are you?
Hi there.
Hey.
Welcome to Mundelein Minute. My name is Eric Schwenk, and I'm a trustee in the Village of Mundelein. Who are you?
I am Carol Lambert. I'm also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein.
Yep. And this is my house, my cameras, microphones. There's no taxpayer.
It should be quiet though.
It should be quiet. There's less people.
It's real early in the morning too.
Early in the morning and less people here, but there's no taxpayer dollars in the creation or distribution of the podcast. And it's our little disclaimer.
And we haven't been here because, let's face it, we have 7 kids between the 2 of us.
It's just a little nuts sometimes.
So we decided we're going to try a standing meeting in the calendar.
A standing meeting so that
early in the morning, the day after board meetings. So this may kill us because if we have late board meetings, we may die, but we'll try.
It'll make for entertaining podcasts.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so we're back and we're talking about the board meeting on July 8th. And
it was a super boring one.
It was kind of boring. I mean,
what do you call these? Transactional.
They're the business meetings, right? And I mean, the last one before this was the appropriations hearing,
which is spicy.
Super transactional business meeting.
But it's spicy. It's like one of the most important meetings of the year.
One of the most important, right? Right. Okay, so we kicked it off at 7:00. All the trustees were present. Did the approval of minutes, did the Pledge of Allegiance, all that. During public commentary, we heard from one resident who had missed public commentary in the last meeting and came to talk about flooding in his neighborhood over on Wellington. And
just behind Emils.
Yeah, right behind Emils. And it's a known issue. And it's one of the ones that
he's come before us before.
Yep.
And I cannot even imagine how annoyed he is.
Yeah, absolutely. Later on in the meeting, I asked about using some of this. So the village actually bought a house as part of I think it was part of a settlement and a lawsuit, and they, the housing authority, Lake County, not housing authority,
I don't know the details of this, so if you do, that's
so
impressive.
There's a nonprofit. I can't think of their name. Obviously, it's early in the morning, and I haven't.
The Affordable Housing Association.
Affordable Housing.
Okay, there we're going.
Had moved the house to another lot that they own down the street, so that lot is now empty. So I brought up, can we use that for
drainage somehow?
Drainage, yeah, for storing water. Can we dig it out? Can we do detention or retention, or how could we make this work? So the staff will look into that. They told us that we have $75,000 in that fund, which sounds like a lot of money, but it's totally not enough money for any kind of
drainage
and digging project.
Yep. So we'll figure out something. I don't know. We've got to figure out a solution. There's a few projects in town that we need to work on for drainage, and us two and another trustee have kind of circled up the rounded up the wagons, whatever, and we'll figure out a plan. But we just know that it's going to cost money, and so therefore we're going to have to prioritize.
But that was also
that versus deprioritizing other things. So where I always tell my mom, money's a finite resource.
Correct. Yeah, we can do all things with the money.
Yes, but
we
gotta find it.
We need to find where that money's coming from without going back and digging in people's pockets for more.
Yep. So stay tuned.
Yeah. So we'll figure that one out. No presentations or awards, no public hearings. The mayor's report, he talked about community days and what a success it was, that it was just a good event at a new location. Some things will have to change for next year. I know the stage direction has been brought up by multiple people, and we'll have to look at that.
Yeah, Shaw's on it.
Shaw's on it.
Man, that guy.
He's good.
But I feel like it was really well attended, and it was just really well run, and it was good. It just was fun. It's like a fun weekend. So
yeah, absolutely.
It's an insane weekend, but it's fun.
It's one of the things that I absolutely love about Mundelein, and not to brag, but living close to community days is really nice
Just
because
walk right
we
over.
walk right over, and then when we get hot, we just walk right back and have some air conditioning.
You know, the
for an
weather was
hour.
like not too bad though. Thankfully,
It wasn't.
this year,
It wasn't
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Other than the parade.
The
It's a little
parade.
wet.
Yeah, a little wet. Yep. Good times. All right. So trustee reports. So the Community and Economic Development Committee, we talked about an ordinance granting relief for impervious surface coverage. So you're only allowed to cover so much of your property
Because of
Well,
drainage.
Drainage, correct. We need a place for the water to absorb back to the
Yeah.
earth. And this person needed to, well, they had a pool and were doing some work. And
Then they let their pool go away for
Yep.
4 or 5 years, and now they want it back. So whatever.
Right.
Get
so
your pool back. Live
so
your
they're
life.
getting their pool back, and they were at 51%.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fine. Not a big deal.
So that was granted. Next up, we had a big grant for Revel Taste LLC over on Armour Boulevard, and they were asking for a big grant for $25,000 for the build out of
Right.
a fish
Smoked
smoking
fish operation.
operation. Yeah, so it's not a restaurant; it is a
Like an industrial
an
use,
industrial
I guess.
commercial use for smoking fish for resale.
But that $25,000 is like a tiny little drop in the bucket of all the investment they're doing. So like,
Yeah, they're doing probably close to $500,000
Yeah.
in renovations. So it's a huge investment into the community.
Yep.
Next up is multifamily residential. They're calling it area, which is going to confuse me.
totally.
And that's their choice. Hey,
Name it what you want.
you know, we had this come before the board for District 250.
Yes.
And
We
they
asked
agreed
them
to
to change
change
it,
it to
yes.
Station 250, and they understood, and they did that one. And area just wasn't a hill I was willing to die on Monday night. So this is the
And this has been
development,
before us before.
just not with the name.
Oh, that's
yeah.
true. This is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah. So this has been before the board as a concept. This is the lot across the street, if you will, across Plaza Circle from Village Hall that extends all the way down to Holly, both sides of the street, and basically finishing off the Plaza Circle development.
That has been planned for 20 years.
It's been planned for a long time.
Yeah.
And this will have majority will be residential, and there'll also be some commercial components on the Holly end of it.
Yep.
So that's moving forward, and it's not final. That'll be back before us at the next board meeting, and since nobody objected to it, it'll probably just be on the omnibus. Next up was Public Works and purchasing a 1-ton truck, and
I got so confused.
we got confused. The original agenda and the one in the packet and the one that I printed said that the truck was $149,000, and Trustee Ross made a motion to purchase the truck for $55,000.
And I was like, wait, what?
And there wasn't any clarification, and we were all like, yeah, let's jump on that cheaper truck. So
Yeah, let's
we
do it.
passed
Sounds awesome.
And then came back to talk about it and said, wait, what? And so staff had made some changes. They're going to try to find some cheaper outfitting of the truck.
Yeah.
And so
They're just going to buy the dump truck and then try to
buy
outfit
the
it for
chassis
cheaper.
and everything else for the $55,000, and then they'll work on getting the rest of it done for a cheaper cost, which is great.
Go get him, Adam.
Because $149,000 for a dump truck kind of blows my mind, but I also understand costs are
Insane.
insane, and getting vehicles is still somewhat tough.
Yeah. Especially municipal. Like,
yeah, the municipal stuff, right? Yeah, for a while we couldn't find police cars.
Yeah. So.
Community solar agreement.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the green energy credits.
Yeah.
Is basically what it
But
is.
it could generate a little bit of revenue.
It does, yeah.
So not enough to.
Not to offset flooding,
Right, but
but revenue nonetheless.
maybe a drop in the bucket, if you will. Ha ha.
Oh my goodness, it's too early for puns. All right, so Finance Committee was up next, and
That
the
was
governing
you.
body bill approval of $941,219.07.
Yep.
Yep. And then
If you're intrigued on where we spend our money, it's all in the packet.
it's all in the packet, and it's even separated from the packet on the finance page of the website with just the disbursements.
There you go.
Yep, every single one of them. All right, public safety.
That's me.
Yeah, what up?
So the chiefs both gave a report about community days. Basically, it was well attended. There was, everyone knows, an evacuation incident on Friday. And the police did their job, found a
did great.
package, got everyone out, looked over the entire property. So, that was a good learning experience for all of us. There was only there was one arrest, and it was for a kid with alcohol that was brought in from the outside. So like in the grand scheme of things, not a huge deal. Fire said similar. There was 2 minor incidents, one a trip and fall, so no big deal. Anyways, so community days, all in all, success. So the motions that I had that 2 nights ago, it is early actually. The first one was regarding parking along Chicago Avenue, so that was just redone. So now we had to put in place like handicap accessible parking and assigning parking out on that area
and permitting, yeah.
and permitting. So not anything life changing. The other one was regarding tornado sirens, right?
Tornado sirens
Yeah.
at the Park District.
Yeah. So we share services with the Park District with tornado sirens. Again, transactional.
Right.
So
Nothing under building committee. Oh, and the chiefs did mention
Cops and Bobbers is this weekend.
Cops and Bobbers. Yep.
And the most successful blood drive they've ever had on 4th of July. So
yeah, 89
Good news.
pints of blood. Pretty
Good news.
amazing. Building committee was up next, and there wasn't anything for the building committee. Transportation infrastructure, and so this was a right-of-way permitting agreement for I3 broadband, allowing them to dig in the right-of-way and lay fiber optics.
Yeah.
Please, more fiber.
that's like a summary for life when you get of a certain age, just more fiber.
Well, that's true, but I appreciate fast internet, and all we have is Comcast.
Correct.
And
That's frustrating.
that, yes, I'm trying to be friendly.
Correct. It's
but
yes.
yes, more options would be appreciated.
I just wanted more fruits and vegetables in my diet, more fiber.
More fiber. I don't think they need to dig in the right of way for that, but you could probably plant some plants in your right of way and get all the fiber you need. Okay, so
Moving along.
and then we're relocating existing electric distribution lines.
Same thing. Same project.
same-
All same project.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So this is one of those riders where the village tells ComEd to do it, and then we all pay for it through
Our electric bill.
our electric bills for the length of that project. It's usually a few months.
Yeah.
And we did that twice.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
That's it.
And
Is there
then
anything else?
under other reports, we talked about the bike race,
Yes.
which is coming up on the 22nd.
That's
So
next board meeting.
next board meeting, and the timing usually works out for the community race
Right before the board
race,
meeting.
the community ride, right before the board meeting. So if you're planning to attend the board meeting, you should ride a bike.
Yes.
And then we talked about flooding. There was no
You
other
brought up flooding,
reports
yes.
for village administrator, the attorney, the clerk, no executive session, and we were
We were
out
out
of
there
there
early.
in 29 minutes.
Transactional.
Yep.
Okay, so we're back. So if you have questions, feel free to email us. But it was good to see a lot of people at community days.
Absolutely.
We had a bunch of people tell us that we needed to be back on the
That-
podcast.
that's a
which is
huge
really good
reason.
to hear, because like we felt like we recorded this for so long and like no one watched it, and we're like, this sucks, because it takes up a lot of your time, because you like
I have to do the behind the scenes part
edit
of it.
it and all that. Not really edit it, but like post it and whatever. I don't know what you do. Nerd stuff.
Nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still takes time,
Yeah.
and time is a finite resource, right?
Ah, yes.
And yeah, I too was feeling that we were talking to ourselves on a camera.
Yeah.
And
So it's
it
good to hear
was-
that we have some people watch
was
it.
good to hear that, that people are watching it.
Hi,
and
Marty.
Yeah,
Hi, Marty. My favorite.
Mayor Marty.
Hey, Marty. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll be back in
and
2
we'll
weeks.
Try to make it more consistent, and we'll see you later July.
Don't forget the bike race.
Bike race. See you there.
Okay, bye.
Bye.